I'm Heather Gregg-Smith from Credit Today magazine.
And how did you find out about today's debate?
I've been coming to the debates since they started, actually, so I've been watching them change along the way.
My name's Bill Birch. I'm from a company called Compliance on Call, and my job basically is to check insolvency practitioners are following the rules and regulations that they have to follow to keep their regulators happy. So if you like, I'm protection for insolvency practitioners.
I'm Melanie Giles. I'm a licensed insolvency practitioner. I run a national insolvency practice. We specialise in personal insolvency. And I'm here today because I've been invited to take part in your panel.
I've been in contact with Andy Davey and IBA.co.uk for some time now. We had a role in developing what is now the Skyber protocol, and Andy was in touch with me through that. I've been keeping an eye on the site, and in due course got in touch with Melanie Giles, who also invited me to come along as well.
I'm speaking on the panel today. I mean, usually as a magazine editor, we get a lot of stories and meet a lot of contacts and listen to some interesting information from the industry, so it'll be good to be taking part in it as well.
So what do you think about today's topic, IBA versus bankruptcy?
It's a horrible situation at the moment that people are having to decide whether they repay some of their debt or none of it, and to what extent they lose control of their assets. I think that the job that IBA.co.uk and Bankruptcy.co.uk are doing to help people make that informed choice has got to be for the better.
I think it's very difficult to state IVA versus bankruptcy as if there's a right answer and a wrong answer. I think it very much boils down to choice of the client and what it is that they want to do and where they want to be. In my practice, I always work on a 10-year plan. Where do you want to be in 3 years' time, 5 years and 10 years? And depending on the answers the client gives us, then we're able to advise the most appropriate solution for them to actually not only get out of their debt, but get back on their life path again.
Do you think there is a lot of misunderstandings about IVAs and bankruptcy?
Very much so, within the profession as well as without it. Insolvency practitioners themselves are split over whether IVAs are a good thing or not. And certainly outside, trying to get through the regulation and the rules and understand what it is you're going into is a horrendous nightmare.
So do you think there's a lot of confusion for the general public between the two examples of debt solution?
I think most people know what bankruptcy is, although have the perceptions about what bankruptcy is, a lot of which I'm afraid are myths. So part of my role is to actually dispel some of those myths and actually explain to them exactly what the procedure is, and to make sure that they're aware it's a procedure for them, that it's not just a punishment or something to be ashamed of, but when they go to court they're actually going as a customer because they want something to happen for them. In terms of voluntary arrangement, I mean, voluntary arrangement is an ideal solution for somebody who actually wants to repay their debts over a period of time, and importantly who can afford to. So it's very difficult to put them into little boxes and say one's better than the other.
Probably towards the end of this year, at the beginning of next year, we're going to see insolvencies rising. So it is important that we're sort of ready for that and that the regulation is in place so that insolvency practitioners and creditors can help vulnerable debtors as well.
What I'd like to see is that more people get the opportunity to see how the professionals view it. I'm not sure that will necessarily solve all the problems, but if a few more people are educated, that's got to be helpful for the profession.
I think today will be useful to see what the views are of the other panellists on where we're going into the future and where we feel that lending is going, and whether the banks are going to curb their lending and become more responsible, and whether we as a public are going to become more responsible to our borrowings given the scares that have been prevalent since credit crunch. So for me, I'm wanting to look forward rather than to concentrate on where we are today and see what predictions the panel members and the members of the audience have to share with us.
And what would you personally like to get out of the debate today?
Probably some good news stories would be nice.